Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show. It's Easter Friday. For those celebrating, happy Easter Friday. And I hope that you have something exciting planned for the long weekend. So today we're going to India. We're going to talk to a very inspiring young lady. To talk to her if you are watching live, to ask your questions, but more importantly, learn about her journey. And we are going to focus our conversation on youth and women empowerment. And we're really gonna see, you're really gonna see the work that she's been doing. She is the CEO. She has her own, social venture. She's an activist. She's a poet, so she does a lot of things. So just to give you a brief her name is Palakh Khanna. And like I was, mentioning to you, she's the CEO of her own company, the Break.The.Ice. That's the name of the company. And she's a youth change maker and environmentalist and social entrepreneur as well. So I'm not gonna, I will leave her to get the opportunity to introduce herself to us. For those who don't know me, I'm tuning in, hosting kind of from Perth, Australia. And I'm the greatness engineer, like people call me. And I make sure my focus, my mission is to make sure that people understand that they have greatness inside of them, and help them to step into their greatness and engineer greatness wherever it matters. And as part of this mission, the Greatness Engineering Hour show bring you champion people with incredible stories, people who can share, knowledge and strategies for us to be able to step into that greatness and step into our power. So let's start the show. Let's bring in our guest. And please let us know where you're watching from, if you're watching live, and even if you get the opportunity to watch the show, later on. Just let us know where you're tuning in, and also, participate, later on. So let's go and start, this great conversation on youth and woman empowerment. So don't go anywhere. I will be back with my guest. Welcome to another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show, the show that is brought to you by the Break.The.Ice Global Leadership Organization.
Real is important is if you just look at the word compassion, when it's behavior, it's something that can be learned, and it is something that we can embody through habits and through our daily actions.
To get this idea that if we interject this wisdom intentionally, I call them needle movers. It's the needle mover that's missing.
Don't deprive the world of your greatness. Please. Don't do that anymore. Dare to excel, dare to be sexy, dare to be you, dare to be the best version of yourself. Impact yourself positively, and from there impact others. And you are not alone.
welcome, welcome, Palak, to the Greatness Engineering Hour show. Such a pleasure to have you today for an hour of greatness, and I know it's gonna be amazing. I've went through your, and read about you, and whatever I've found is really impressive. But before we get into the midst of the subject that we're gonna focus on today, I just want you to introduce yourself to the audience and let us know who you are and anything that you feel like it's important for the audience to know about you.
Thank you so much. So, hi everyone, this is Palak. I am a 19-year-old from New Delhi, India. I am a youth change maker, a social entrepreneur, a mentor, educator, an environmentalist, and a lot of things that I'm very, very passionate about. And in terms of my journey, it's been quite enlightening, quite engaging, quite challenging, but at the same time, very, very interesting and fun. And I'm just very happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. And when I look at what you've accomplished at your age, I'm really inspired, like I said. And you started a company called Break.The.Ice. And I just want to know a little bit more about, what was the journey? Why did you start this company? And what is the company all about? So just have, an really an idea of the journey that you've taken to create the Break the Ice, and what is Break the Ice is standing for, and what are they doing? What are you doing through Break the Ice?
Thank you. So, in terms of my journey, I've always wanted to create change from a time that I was very young. And I know it sounds very dramatic. Many people say that, but I've honestly felt that I wanted to bring change, but I never knew what I wanted to do. And it was very recently during the pandemic that I just overheard a conversation between my mom and my domestic help, where my domestic help was actually just asking for pads, but she was shying away from the conversation because she felt it's very, very stigmatized, and she was just shying away from the conversation. And I overheard the conversation and I just realized it's such a natural process. And it's just at this point a little and I was actually frustrated, and it sounded very disturbing that someone can't even ask for pads for something as simple as menstruation, which is a natural process. And that's when I talked to my mom and I told her, I want to open an organization, maybe online in the beginning, where we'll just
Mm-hmm.
break the ice literally about topics which are pushed under the carpet and just termed taboo. So that's how it came into the picture. And what we do is Break the Ice is an international youth organization. We are working in more than 10 plus countries. We have 60 plus members in the team. And we're working with the UNSTSN as a member, where what we are trying to do is create impact and work towards discussing everything taboo, everything stigmatized, and create a community of youth who are enlightened, because they should take conscious action towards things which are important, because every taboo topic is at the end of the day an important topic which is just shunned by society.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And that's a big mission, because we know that there's so many so many young people, and you are who need this, this kind of platform to be able to express themselves and empower themselves. So that's why, my next question is to ask you, why do you think youth empowerment is important, and why do you think, we need platform like the platform that you created, Break the Ice, to bring, tools and strategy for empowerment to this youth? What can be the difference of an enlightened youth, the difference between a youth who is not enlightened and an enlightened youth? What do you think about that?
So I feel like youth empowerment is a term which has become, a very, very used term, but people don't often understand what youth empowerment is all about. So personally, I feel like since the youth, including myself, we are all the future of the country, we need to be empowered. We need to be given a voice just to ensure that the future is bright, and it's maybe better than the present. Because as a society currently, we ignore a lot of things. And if the youth is empowered, we are given a voice, we're given a platform like the one that I'm at today, when we are given a platform like this, we're able to present our thoughts. Maybe someone listens to our opinions, maybe they decide to include us in important things, and at the end of the day create a better society for the future, because we are the future. And in terms of how we can do that, well, it can just begin simply from conversations with the youth about topics which are affecting the globe, because once we are included in conversations, we can add our perspective, because times are changing and our perspectives would be much more relevant to the current times. So if we are added into conversations like that, solutions can be much more useful for the future.
And this future, we have to think about it now. And sometimes that's what we forget, especially us, from the younger generation. We don't actually think about this future that is coming, and this youth, this youth that is really angry to bring, to be part of bringing solution into the world. So that's really amazing. But like you said, you are young, you're still, you are 19, and taking up such a big, a big project must have been a challenge. So what are the challenges that you had to face, to be able to be a voice, but bring your voice and push your mission and your goals forward as an entrepreneur, social entrepreneur, as an advocate, or as an activist as well, because you are an activist bringing your ideas and pushing for them to be implemented. So what are the key things, the key challenge that you face, or that you continue to face in this pursuit of your mission?
So I feel like I've been grateful enough to get the guidance and support of individuals who avoided and helped me, get over the challenges. But one of the main challenges which I would have faced specifically in terms of as a social entrepreneur is funding. And I'm being very honest about it because, as a youth organization, all of us are not financially independent. We're all people from 13 to 20, and we're all college going students, maybe school going students. And getting funds to generate that impact is very, very difficult. So I'm trying to create an impact so that we become credible enough to get a grant, or maybe ask for help from individuals who are much more prepared to deal with funds. So funding.
So funding, yeah, funding is always been a difficult part, and especially now you started your venture during the pandemic, so there was a lot of challenges, a lot of uncertainty, so it becomes even more difficult to get the funding. So that's really good that you've been able to stand on your feet and bring this initiative forward. So let's just see who we have here. I see that there are some comments out. We have somebody from London, but unfortunately we don't have the name of the person. Thank you for tuning in. So we have yeah, okay, excellent, proud of you. Thank you so much, King, for tuning in. It's a pleasure to see you here. And we also have again, Facebook is not putting the name. A blessed weekend to you all as you continue to inspire the world together. Yes, she is an inspiration, I know. And we have Sylvie. Sylvie, thank you for being here and for listening to us. And we have a long comment from Yasin Jones, and she's saying, "Sound fascinated. Well on, Palak, for breaking the ice at home initially. Enlightened youth is so important, and it is the common sense approach of the brighter future." So thank you, Yasin, for your comment and for being here. So we're gonna just have a small break to to see one of your gonna continue our conversation on youth empowerment, but also woman empowerment, because those are key issue right now that needs to be that needs to be resolved, to be able to make sure that everybody wins, humanity wins. It's not just about the youth, it's not just about women, it's about all of us. So don't go anywhere, we will be back in few minutes. So we are back. We are back with Palak. And for those just joining us, Palak is based in India, and she is the CEO of Break.The.Ice. She's a social entrepreneur, an activist, and she has, she's also a poet, and she writes. She's also doing, all kind of thing to make sure that she brings something positive to our communities. I think the objective is to cross borders and bring an influence globally. So, Palak, we talked about youth empowerment, but there's also the woman empowerment, because you're a woman and you probably live a certain reality. So, why do you think women empowerment is key for humanity, and how do you think looking at what you've done and what you're doing, how do you think women can be empowered, and what do you do personally to push this empowerment agenda to make it to make it happen?
Thank you for the question. Actually, it's very interesting because it's a woman to woman conversation. So, in terms of why women empowerment is important in the first place, because women constitute 50% of the population across the globe. And it's important to understand that women should be given a voice, because at the end of the day, women are mothers, they are birth givers, and they are the reason that we exist as a society, and we continue to pass on that chain of generations. So firstly that, and secondly simply because stigmas which are often attached to women in the in every sphere, to be honest, whether it's education, whether it's sanitation, whether it's clean health, or whether ironically again it's menstruation. If women are considered to have the main role of being mothers, and menstruation is that first step towards becoming a mother, how can menstruation become a stigma topic? But ultimately it does have an impact on women as a whole, because even the term feminism, I am a very firm believer in feminism. Even the term feminism is so taken in such a bad light, because people believe that it's about women becoming superior than men, or maybe other sexualities and genders. But it's not that. It's about creating equality for women, and that's exactly what we do through Break.The.Ice as well. We're creating a space where a safe space where every gender, whether women, men, whether the LGBTQ plus, whether anybody, they feel safe enough to put their opinions forward, and they feel empowered as a whole to take the movement forward of breaking the stigmas one step at a time.
And it's very important what you're saying, because those stigmas are out there, and I think sometimes it's a matter of how we communicate ourselves. So creating those platform, those safe platform where people can express themselves, put their idea there, and be themselves, because that's the key thing. Be themselves so that they can add to the collaboration that we are creating, because we are here to collaborate for a better future for everyone. It's not just gonna be we're not just talking about women empowerment because we want women to be superior to anybody. We're talking and you stress it, this point out, we're talking women empowerment to help everybody, because when women are happy, when women contribute, everybody actually benefit from it. So it's important that we have those platforms where this message is clear, not the message of competition, but the message of collaboration, partnership, and having a common goal. And that's where the SDGs are coming. So, as you know, as a social entrepreneur, and in the community that where you evolve in right now, what are you doing concretely to push this agenda to make sure that those bias that we people have, how do you do something to make sure that they are broken, because we can't continue that way. So how is it, how are you doing that?
Okay, so actually, I'm doing that in very different things. So, firstly, obviously, through Break the Ice, like I mentioned, we are talking about topics which are stigmatized specifically for women, sometimes specifically for other genders, sometimes specifically maybe for the general, public. But along with Break the Ice, I'm also a tutor for underprivileged children in India itself, where it's specifically catering to lots of girls, very poor girls who are not encouraged to even get education up till class 12th. And what we do is we teach them everything related to English, because obviously knowing English is much better in the professional sphere. So what we do is we teach them English, help them hone their language skills. And so yeah, I also, and through Break the Ice and this initiative of teaching underprivileged children, I'm helping in both SDG 4 as well as SDG 5. 4 is providing quality education to everyone, and 5 is gender equality.
So we have a question here. So from Renan is asking, how are you planning to collaborate with other similar minded people? And I think there's another part to the comment in terms of funding. What exactly is the challenge or the analysis? Does the topic of the work not merit funding, or does it require celebrity status, etc.? So if you want to say something about it, or is it something that we want to tackle later on? Just let me know if you want to come in here.
Yes, I'll love to answer that. So, for the first part of the question, we are actually we've actually collaborated with more than 10 plus partners. We're just 5 months old, actually, the organization itself. And we're always open to collaborating with like minded people, because like minded people get new ideas, new opinions, and just that passion to create change. So, always open to that. In terms of the funding, so since it is a youth organization, and for people who are actually giving those funds and investing in us, they need to see that credibility, because age for people does matter. They feel, okay, they're young, maybe they're not able to use the funds properly. So we are actually pitching for a lot of funds, so, and a lot of grants, so hopefully we do get that, because there is a credibility in the sense of the community that we've already created. But the age factor does impact people from investing in us, so hopefully we do get that, and I'll definitely update everyone.
Yeah. So, like you said, the age factor is important, and we women, we have the same problem. The gender actually is sometimes a problem where venture capital don't trust us. It's always more difficult to get funding for women. They have to prove so many things, and it's really a big challenge for everyone. So, I mean, I'm not gonna stop repeating it. You're young, you're 19, and obviously you set yourself as a role model for a lot of people, not only the youth in your country, but now that you are given a global voice, also a role model for a lot of young people in the world. So, based on your experience, the knowledge, and everything that you went through, and everything that you've learned, through this journey, what are the advice that you would give, to young people who want to follow on your footstep and hopefully collaborate with you in the future?
So I still believe that I don't have the experience to give suggestions or advice, but I just feel like the common advice and something that I've learned from my life would be to never doubt yourself and just start. Because I had a whole period of self doubt, and My mom helped me actually. But if you have a loved one who you feel can support you, get their help. Or maybe it should be internal motivation, to be honest. Always believe in yourself first and your ideas and your actions, and just start. So that would just be the simple advice that I give.
And sometimes it's just fear. We are our own worst enemy, and especially when we're young, where we're still, searching our, our voice. We're still searching for our purpose. We tend to freeze and think that we're not able to do something, and we're scared of failure. And that's actually a strong message that you actually, bringing here in on this platform, is that never doubt yourself. It starts with the belief that you have in yourself. It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you're not going to have obstacle, but you just have to start and keep going, because despite all the resistance, all the obstacle, keep going and be focused on the vision that is in front of you. So we still have we have full house today. There's Samantha. Samantha is watching from the Netherlands. Welcome, Samantha. Thanks for tuning in. So I still have the Facebook users. Hello, amazing Mireille. Hello. And please let me know where you're watching from. Facebook is not identifying you. Hello, thanks for tuning in. And we have again Renan. Thank you. Hope you will break the ice in this area as well. Yes, we have to be hopeful. We can't, we can't. We can't actually just stop. It has to be done. We have to push. The resistance is there, the challenges are there, but it shouldn't stop us. So we're going to have another break, and we will be back with Palak to continue our conversation. And as you can see, she's very inspiring. So unfortunately, in 1 hour, you will not, get the opportunity to see the extent of this inspiration, but I encourage you after the show to continue to engage with her. But let's have a short break, and we will be back with her on our amazing conversation. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes. So we are back. We are back with Palak, and our focus today, the focus of our conversation, is on youth and women empowerment. And you've been, for those who have been with us from the beginning, well, you've been able to get some insight from her, and how she sees the empowerment that she's doing, and how she impacts a community, and working with her, to push the sustainable development agendas, and focusing particularly on the who are the future of the world, but also women who are actually also equally important for humanity to win, for everybody to win. So I have a question, Palak, for you. Is, obviously we see you, we see all this inspiration, we see what you do. So what support system did you have to rely on to be able to do what you do? And I'm going to push the question even forward. So who is your inspiration in all of this?
Oh, my support system as well as my inspiration would be my mom. I know it's a very simple answer, but definitely because she has always guided me. And like I mentioned, I was even doubtful to open an organization. But here we are because of her support. So definitely her as both a support system, always standing next to me and guiding me and preventing me from just overthinking everything that I do. And along with that, just being an inspiration in herself.
Say again, I think I lost a little bit of the last part of your comment. It cut on my side. Say again, Palak.
Yeah, so I just said that it'll definitely be my mom in terms of both as a support system as well as an inspiration, because as a support system, she's just prevented me from doubting myself, overthinking everything I do at every step of the day and every step of the journey. And along with that, just being an inspiration in herself.
Fantastic. And yes, moms are important. And that's why we're talking about women empowerment, because, like you mentioned before, we are creating life. And again, in moment of doubt, they are there to push us to uh, bring us to a level where we are confident to take risk and to step, and I like that because I'm all about greatness, to step into our greatness, to step into our power, and even if we but we still continue to do it. And which leads me to ask you, because obviously your mom started the process, to give you the inspiration, to give you the comfort, to reassure you that you could do it. But then you have to sustain the effort, and fear is just still creeping in. So what is your why now? Because what is the purpose of doing all of this, especially at such a young age?
It would be just creating change. Like I mentioned earlier, it's always been on my mind. I have never known the purpose of my life. I just knew I wanted to create change. And I've always thought about it from the time that I was very young, actually. I started with becoming an environmentalist. I became a part of the environment club in my school and, going for a protest to save the trees in my area. And it gradually became much more than that, where it spread to different areas where I wanted to express my thoughts and help people through becoming a published poet, where I tried to help underprivileged children to impart knowledge so that at the end of the day we achieve SDG 4. And ultimately it was forming an organization where we are breaking taboos, because unless and until we provide quality education in every field, including topics which are often shunned, quality education would not be achieved. So the why would just be change, and
Hmm,
ultimately
hmm.
it's just one word which inspires me and which keeps me moving.
Yeah, and change is very important because that's the only constant we have right now. So change, everything change, so rapidly, and we actually a lot of people talk about the VUCA world. VUCA standing for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. So we live with this change, we live with this ambiguity, we live with this uncertainty. But as we mentioned before, it's not time to stop, because we actually looking for using this change to get to a better place, to get to to the sustainable development, to looking at the economic side, the environmental side, and the social side as well. So those this change is really important to achieve that, and we will not be deterred by the change that is constantly trying to push us. Obviously, we've seen that you are ready for this new world, this new revolution that we are in, and I think a lot of youth actually are ready, and sometimes we don't want to listen to them, but they're actually uh, more ready than us. I'm really happy that I've been able to talk to you so that my audience can understand that age is just a number. It's not the age. It's about the passion that you bring. It's about the purpose. It's about the effort and all the and obviously the belief that you have in yourself, the belief that you have that you can change something, not only in your environment, but then this change can actually have a ripple effect into a bigger community, a region, a country, and the world at the end of the day. So we will have enough time. We will have the last part of our conversation, which is more about the bigger picture as far as your work is concerned, and what you're really looking for in life and in the future. So don't go anywhere. We will be back in few minutes again, and continue the show and have the last part of the conversation with Palak.
Wine for me, don't be too scared. Look at them curves and the way you move got me like damn. Oh me, oh my, what have we here? What have we here? Shawty so fine with her waistline, when I like that, she is top tier. Yeah, let me see how you move that bumper. Rock it up and start it over. Let me see that thing gyrate when you on the floor, people coming over. Baby, you drive me loca. Bad thing from West Bermuda. You got me high when you are around, I feel like I'm not sober.
So Palak, and that's the part that I love, because it's a part where I really get to know deeply my guest. And there's a question that I want to ask you, Palak, is what is because you're doing so much already, and you're on the way of creating more positive impact, not only in India, but also outside India. So, what are your expectations for the future, if I can
So, my expectations are actually, like I mentioned in the entire session, that it would be creating change. And irrespective of what the scale would be, I obviously want it to be at a global scale. But I'm very ambitious. So, I just want the future to be bright. And in terms of my organization, it should be that we are actually a global safe space. In the next 5 years, we're a global safe space where everyone is talking about everything considered taboo and breaking the ice. In terms of as an individual, I just want to keep on moving and not stop, because I want to generate that change. So that is actually it.
Exactly. And change is about movement. So and you probably know it. So change is about movement, and you have to keep moving, you have to keep reinventing yourself, especially when you're talking about breaking the ice, and that's what, your organization is focusing on. You really have to push for to push hard and to make this change happen. And one question, because I'm very curious as well, and like I said, you do so many things. So how do you create the balance? Because at the end of the day, you're still young, so still need to have a social life, but you're doing already so much, for not only through your social venture, but also through the different the different association that you are collaborating with. So how do you create this balance and to be in the place that you really want to be?
So currently, actually, I've always actually thought that I won't be able to do a lot, but thankfully I have been, and I have, every day of mine is very, very productive, and I'm just proud of that because as a 19-year-old, I have college, and along with that, I have all of these other associations that I have to be, and along with that, I have my own. So just maintaining a balance is it's tough a lot of times, but to-do lists, whenever someone asks me how I manage my time, to-do lists work wonders for me. I just have a very, very realistic list that I need to complete every day. And it's realistic in the sense that I know that I'll be able to complete it. I know that I'll be proud of myself the next day because I don't have anything left in the previous day's to-do list. So that's actually it. That's my way of managing time. Even if I complete all the tasks by 1 a.m. at night, I'm able to still do it. So, yes.
Fantastic. And we have Abraham here. So Abraham is just joined us. Thank you, Abraham, and thank you for the introduction to Palak. She is amazing, and we've had a great conversation. So we have definitely broken the ice. That's not a problem. And we have hey Mimi, we have Mimi tuning in from Melbourne, and yet change is a necessity in today's market. We have no choice, and she's also commenting on the self-care to-do list and have all the meetings in a calendar. The organization, you need to be very well organized, especially, you can when you do this, social work, because you can actually easily fall into giving all your time and all your energy to other people and forgetting about you, and not realizing that you have to everything start with you. You have to be full and well, before you can serve others. So that's a very important thing. So how can people, connect with you? Because obviously, small amount of time that we had, during this conversation, it's not really easy to go through everything that you do and in detail. So just let us know how, people can connect with you if they want to continue their conversation and collaborate with you, because I think there was a question about collaboration just before, how they can help you in the food. We've identified the funding process, which is a challenge for you and other areas. So how do people connect with you for that?
So So I think everyone can connect with me through LinkedIn. It's just Palakh Khanna on LinkedIn. So I love to connect with everyone there. Oh, thank you so much for the link. Yes. So everyone can connect through LinkedIn. I am there on Instagram, but I just don't feel that that's a professional enough environment. So LinkedIn it is. And along with that, you can also definitely check out our official page in terms of the organization's official page. We're there on LinkedIn as well as Instagram, as well as we also have a website. So do check out Break.The.Ice as well, because I hope that you guys learn or maybe just get involved and help us in breaking the ice.
Fantastic. So you can connect with Pelak on LinkedIn. She is so, and if you have any question, especially for those who join us in the middle, just don't hesitate connect with her, or you can direct your question to me, and I will, make sure Palak address the question. So we're gonna have another break, and then we will conclude on our conversation today. It went really fast, and I hope that you've building, and you are really impressed by what this young lady is doing. It's just amazing to see. So let's go for this last break, and we will be back to conclude on our conversation. So we are back. We are back to conclude on the show, on the conversation that we amazing Palak. And Palak, I just want to ask you, do you have a last word or last advice to the youth and women as far as, an empowerment is concerned before we leave the platform today?
Oh, I would just like to end with a favorite quote of mine. It's actually not just advice for the youth or women, but everyone. The person that you're destined to become is the person that you decide to become. So I hope that is inspiring enough and that makes you start your journey. Thank you.
The person that you destined to become is the person that you're gonna become. That's what you said, is it?
Yes. So the person that you are destined to become is the person that you decide to become because there is no destiny. You create your own destiny.
You create your own destiny, and that's a very powerful quote that Palak is leaving us with. You create your own destiny. Don't wait for anybody to do it for you. Fear is gonna creep in, but do it. Do it anyway. Get the support. Get the support. Believe in yourself first, and go after what you want to accomplish. So we gotta just have the last round of comments. So we have Renan. Renan again has been very active. Can you tell us more about the taboo topics breaking ice scenario in detail, so that those who are viewing may be able to help to increase the collaboration? So do you want to say something about it before we conclude on the platform, or is it something that you're happy to address after the show?
I love to answer it. So, in terms of
Mm-hmm.
taboo topics, we are covering everything. It's whether it's something as simple, and I say simple because we do talk about mental health. So, something as simple as mental health to something as severe as bullying, to women violence, to a trigger warning, to suicide, everything in between, everything from mental health to bullying, we cover everything. So, if it is something which interests people, then definitely join in.
Mm-hmm. And there's another question and comment from Renan is, in order for other youth to be inspired and take better initiative, I'd like to know some of the skills that you are learning on this journey, so that the different skills, and and there's mention here of networking and interpersonal skills. So what are the skills that you've been able to gain through this process, starting as a young social entrepreneur and environmentalist as well?
So, personally, I think there are two main skills that I didn't quite know of earlier. It would be networking. You've already covered it actually. Networking as a young person wasn't told to me often enough for me to take it seriously, to be honest. Because, you're not told to connect with people through LinkedIn, you're not told to engage with strangers to learn their stories. So, but after I, got involved in the process of networking, I learned that it's much more than just getting to know someone who is strange, who is a stranger to you, or someone who you don't know from your own hometown maybe. But it's actually much more than that. It's about getting inspired, learning their mistakes, their challenges, learning how they succeeded, learning their stories, and growing together. So firstly it would be networking, and secondly would be leadership maybe. Again, something which we're not often talked about, it's not told to us in general. People do say that you should be a good leader, you should learn leadership skills, but as someone who's young, as someone who wants to create change, you have to be a leader for your own self, to at least carry on your own journey and then inspire others to move forward with you.
Fantastic. And hope, Renan, that you got, some insight from Palak. And thank you so much for your participation and your valuable contribution. There's a question from Abraham here. How have you augmented your connection through Break the Ice? How did Break the Ice help you to be where you are right now?
So I feel like Break the Ice has completely transformed my life. Even for Abraham sir, I connected him, connected with him through my initiative itself. And Break the Ice has told people that, okay, I do want to create change. I'm serious about it, because many people talk about creating change, but they don't take that first step. So it's definitely helped me in a lot of my other spheres, not just connections and networking, but internally as well. Motivation, confidence, and all of that. So everything from networking to interpersonal skills, everything has seen a growth and a tremendous growth through Break the Ice.
And that's important. Sometimes, like you said, we just have to start, and then things just fall into place. And because sometimes when we overthink, we're just not getting anywhere. So it's sometimes just important to start and then see how things fall behind, and get connect with people. And connection is very important now, nowadays. And that's the currency right now for everything that we do, especially with it's been shown again during the pandemic how collaboration, connection are important to help us to go to the next level of our greatness, to go to the next level of everything that we want to accomplish in life. So thank you so much. And Mimi, thank you again for joining us all the way from Melbourne. Yes, I can send you a signed copy of my book. That's not a problem. We'll connect after the show. So it has been a very, very dynamic and insightful and inspiring conversation. Thank you again, Palak, for your time, and thank you for all the work that you do at such a young age to bring change, because that's really your purpose, to bring change. And we actually all have a sustainable future, because it's all about having a sustainable future, creating a world where everybody find its voice, everybody find its place, and really collaborate and live together in harmony, and bring the best out of each of us. And as I always say, help us to step into our greatness and become the best version of ourselves. That's the only way we can help humanity to go forward, and that's the only way we can be all plain and successful in everything that we do. So thank you again to the audience for being with us. It has been your participation has been so valuable and insightful. The question, the comments has just been amazing to have this interaction with you. I will be back with another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show on Tuesday Australian time, but it's going to be Monday evening in the US, because my guest will be in the US, and we're going to talk about creating a business uh, turning your passion into a business. And that's going to be, again, a very insightful and important conversation for all of us with everything that is happening today. So until next week, I want to wish all of you, especially a happy Easter, and I hope to see you next week for another episode of the Greatness Engineering Hour show. And again, thank Palak. I thank you for everything, and I wish you to have a great, enjoy the rest of your day and enjoy the long weekend if there's a long weekend in India. So take care, everybody, and see you soon.
Thank you.